الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So we were discussing here uh, the ma'anin mujibatul ghusl, those things that makes ghusl wajib. So basically, before we look in the kitab, remember there's two things that basically for a male that makes ghusl wajib, and for the female. Okay, the female got something additional. We should recap briefly, quickly before we start the actual text. Um, for a male, there's two things. One is the first is when there's inzal, right? That is the emission of the actual sperm, right? And we according and there is ikhtilaf between Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad, which will term as Tarafain, and Imam Yusuf. And according to Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Yusuf, doesn't matter if it comes out with force and lust. Uh, from it doesn't have to come out from both places. Even if it comes out from one place, that is good enough to make ghusl wajib. Imam Yusuf said no, it must come out from the back and must come from the front organ with last then ghusl will become wajib, right? Until both are not found, ghusl will not be wajib, right? So that was inzal. Then we discussed um, the next thing uh, we discussed was dukhul. When there is dukhul, then also whether there was inzal or not, just mere dukhul, that will make ghusl also wajib, right? And we told you that is from those things where the hukum is attributed to the sabab, because we cannot know the actual reality of whether there was inzal or not. And normally dukhul is a cause for sabab, so we attribute it to dukhul, similar like how we attribute the breaking of wudu to sleeping. Whilst you are leaning on something, that's when your limbs become loose, right? That was the next thing we discussed. Then, with regards to with regards to dukhul, we mentioned whether it is dukhul in the front organ of a male, sorry, dukhul in the front organ of a female or the back of organ. Both cases, will become wajib because it's a kamil sabab. It's a complete cause for inzal. It normally, or 90% of the time, or 100% of the time, it will result in inzal. So that you see the وكذا العلاج في الدبور لكمال السببية. Then ويجب على المفعول به احتياطا. Then will also be wajib upon the maf'ul, in other words, the maf'ul biha, the person who they put been entered into, right? بخلاف البهيمة. Yeah, so this was where it was a little bit confusion yesterday, but we cleared it out. بخلاف البهيمة وما دون الفرج. و So in my kitab I had بخلاف البهيمة ما دون الفرج, which gives a total opposite meaning. So what that would mean is, if you look at what I see how important one letter is, like بخلاف البهيمة ما دون الفرج, contrary to the animal in what is besides the farj. So that it means if you put it into the farj of an animal, ghusl become wajib. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not what it's meaning. So بخلاف البهيمة, so what is saying there? بخلاف البهيمة وما دون الفرج means contrary to an animal. So anyway, when you put it by an animal, ghusl don't become wajib. وما دون الفرج, and besides the farj refers to the front organ and the back organ. So besides the front organ and the back organ, anywhere else you put it, it will not be. So if you put it between the thighs, you put it between the elbows, you put it anywhere else, ghusl will not become wajib. So in the animal, anywhere you put it, won't become wajib. And anywhere besides the front organ, the back organ, anywhere will not become wajib unless it's inzal, right? لأن السببية ناقصة, because here the cause is not complete. The cause is not complete. You understand what I'm saying? The cause for inzal. These are not full reasons for inzal. Not every person when they do these things they will have inzal, right? Okay, so now we're moving to a new discussion. The new discussion is with regards to when sunnat is when ghusl is sunnat. So we discussed already when it becomes farz or when it becomes wajib, etc., etc. The next thing, we, the next thing we want to discuss here now is Where is his sunnat? Read it, Bismillah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَسَنَّ رَسُولُ وَسَلَّمَ الْغُسْلَ الْجُمْعَةِ وَالْإِيدَيْنِ وَعَرَفَةَ وَالْإِحْرَامِ. So besides your faraz ghusl, that when it is necessary, that if you don't make a ghusl, your ibadat is not accepted at all. There are certain times where it is good to make ghusl. You will get a lot of reward if you make ghusl, but you won't get any sin if you don't make ghusl. You won't get sin if you don't make ghusl. And what are they? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had made ghusl sunnah for Jum'ah, for Eid, for the day of Arafah, for the Haji, and for Ihram. Okay, so we're going to discuss a bit more now here with regards to Jum'ah and Eidain. But, right, we'll discuss this. But just Arafah, I must say, oh, sorry, أو before والحيض لقوله تعالى حتى يتطهرن بالتشديد وكذا النفاس بالإجماع. Sorry, ما I forgot it. So so there was three things we said. One was inzal, right? Whether you are awake or you're sleeping. And if a woman has inzal when she's awake, even still ghusl will become wajib. And I told you what is the sign of inzal, where your lust is fulfilled. You feel satisfied after that, right? So whether it happens and obviously something must come out. There must be some liquid that comes out. So that's whether you're awake or sleep. Then the second one is iltiqa'ul khitanain, when the private parts, we discussed it, is dukhul. And the third one is where a woman becomes clean from her haze, when her blood stops, whether it is, well, this is a separate missile, whether it is more than 10 days, lesser than 10 days, whatever it is. But still, when she is purified from the haze, in order for her to read salah, she has to make a ghusl. There's no way she can read a salah after her monthly menstrual bleeding without making a ghusl, unless she's sick or something. Then she cannot, her body cannot tolerate water or something. That's a different instance. Then she'll make tayammum, right? And what's the proof? Allah Ta'ala says, ويسألون المحيض قل أذن فاعتزلوا في المحيض ولا تقربون حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمر الله. So there was حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن. So until she is properly clean, and obviously, like how we say, this is it is for there's a tajdeed, which is mubalagha, and mubalagha means there's excess that points towards ghusl, right? So فإذا تطهرن بالتجديد, right? So tajdeed and tajdeed, like how we discussed earlier, it's for emphasis, and emphasis is more than just a wudu, right? وكذا النفاس بالإجماع, and also nifas when after what you call postnatal bleeding, after a woman gives birth and she bleeds for a little while, and then when that bleeding stops, then also there she must um, bath before she can read salah, or even before husband can touch her, etc. Right? And here with ijma, so the reason why the author is not going here into too much, he said this ijma is consensus amongst the ulama. So we don't have to really give too much proofs, etc. Just one, two proofs is sufficient. Yes, when there's difference between the ulama, then we have to prove our point. But here we got no reason to really prove our point because it is this ijma, right? Okay, so that was with regards to when all the farais. The next is, I told you, وَسَنَّ Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made it sunnat, and I told you, لِلْجُمْعَةِ وَالْإِيدَيْنِ, the little bit more tafsir is coming upon that, the explanation is coming on that. وَعَرَفَةَ وَالْإِحْرَامِ. Arafah, on the day of Arafah, now normally, when you go for Hajj, Allah Ta'ala thank you for Hajj, there is no real facilities there. So most of our time, our ulama, etc., that like want to practice upon the sunnah, they'll take a bucket or a bottle of water, maybe they'll clean the toilet out, they'll have a quick sunnah ghusl in the toilet, etc. At least they can get their reward. Or sometimes they go behind the bus, something. They just, like how we discussed what the sunnah ghusl is, and they'll make a ghusl. Well, ihram, and obviously before you tie your ihram, that's easy, convenient, because normally you tie your ihram before you, like maybe if you're flying from South Africa, okay, that will be a bit difficult now. You're only going to you're going to make your intention on the plane. To make intention very, very early is a bit cumbersome because there are restrictions with regards to haram. So what you could do under the circumstances, you have your bath finish at home because obviously it's awkward to do on the plane. But then just before they announce on the plane that you're crossing the miqat, then there you go into ihram. The ladies just have to make intention. Obviously, the men have to wear the two cloths, etc. Right? So they say, صاحب الكتاب نص على السنية. Yeah, this is now, remember that the way we read now was the text of Quduri Sharif, right? So, yeah, Sahib is saying, Sahib Hidayah is saying, Sahib al-Kitab, the author of Quduri, Nassa ala Sunniyati. He was explicit that is Sunnah. وقيل هذه الأربعة مستحبة. But it is said that this is not Sunnah, it is Mustahab, these four. So Mustahab also means it is a good thing to do. You will get a lot of reward, but not as emphasized as Sunnah. So he's drawing your attention to the fact that it is a good whatever, but it is not so emphasized. It is not so emphasized, right? وسمى محمد الغسل في يوم الجمعة حسنا في الأصل. And Imam Muhammad in the book Mabsut, which is from the Zahiri, right? He mentioned there, he said, to bath on the Friday is Hassan. It's a good thing. In other words, he also never say it is a strong emphasized sunnah. Because if it's a strong emphasized sunnah, then he would say use the word sunnah. Are you with me? Right. وقيل right. وقال مالك هو واجب لقول صلى من أتى الجمعة فليغتسل. According to Imam Malik, he said it is wajib to bath on a Friday. And why? Is the hadith man atal jum'ata falyaghtasil. That person who goes to the Jummah, he should bath. And this is a amr, it's a command. And al amru lil wujubi. That's what the reason. Although you done also in usul shashi, amr don't have to be necessary for wujub. Sometimes the amr is for istihbab, just to show something is good. Sometimes the amr is for tawbih, to warn you. Just you do that, then you see what I will do to you. Does mean you must do it. Man sha'a falyu'min wa man sha'a falyakfur, right? Now, what's our proof to say that is not compulsory? ولنا قول السلام من توضأ يوم الجمعة فبها ونعمت. Nabi says in the hadith that that person who makes wudu on the day of Jummah, then فبها, okay, ونعمت is a good thing, but ومن اغتسل فهو أفضل. So you see there, Nabi says approved the ghusl, I mean wudu. It's a good thing, good mashallah, you made wudu, but ومن اغتسل فهو أفضل. But that person who bathed, that is more virtuous, that is better. So what does it show you? That to make ghusl is not compulsory. It is just the better of the two options, right? وبهذا يحمل ما رواه على الاستحباب أو على النسخ. So in the next text, what is saying? See, there are texts that suggest that it is compulsory to bath on a Friday. But we view this in two ways. Because there are other texts that suggest it's not compulsory, so we interpret those texts which says compulsory in two ways. Other one is we say that the command is for istihbab. The command is for istihbab, just to show it's good, right? Or it is mansukh. And why do we say it's mansukh? It is in the Kitab also. They say in the initial stages of Islam, when the Sahaba Ikram was still poor and they used to do a lot of manual and physical labor. And Masjid al-Nabawi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the roof was very low. So you had people used to work hard and used to wear simple coarse cloth. So when they come to the masjid, maybe the perspiration was overwhelming, etc. Narrow. So once the futuhat started taking place, the Muslims started winning the battles and money started coming in. So they could wear better clothes, finer clothes, and also Sahaba Ikram didn't have to work so hard anymore. They were not physical laborers. They had the slaves to do the work, etc. So it was not compulsory anymore. So if we take فَلْيَغْتَسِلْ to mean a command, you take it to be for the early stage of Islam. And if we say, if so, and now it's mansukh, it is abrogated. Because there is a hadith that says it's fine to make wudu also. It's fine to make wudu also. And then otherwise, the other ways you say that this command, but it's not for compulsion. Some say, please come and sit here with me. Look, man, come sit here, please. Does it mean it's compulsory? You have to sit here. If you don't sit here, I'm going to punish you. It's just a command, but it's a command in the sense that it is just a request, right? So that's what they say. ثم هذا, that here's interesting, Master. We said now it is, according to some of our ulama, it is sunnah to bath on a Friday. Some say it is mustahab, whatever it is. The big question is the bath for the actual salah or for the day? So what's the difference? The difference will come about in this, that a person is not reading Jummah, he's a musafir. If we say the bath is for the Jummah, then it's not sunnah for him to read to bath. If a person is sick at home, is bedridden, and he has been excused from going to the masjid, so then what we'll say, that for him it's not sunnah because it's for the salah, it's not going to salah. Another one, like a woman that doesn't go to the masjid. So if we say it's for the day, then it's still mustahab for her to bath. But if we say it's right, if we say it's for the Jummah, then it's not mustahab for her. But either way, whatever it is, whether we say it is for the day or for the Jummah, I would personally say that those who are not reading Jummah, like the women folk at home, or even the sick or the excused, or even the children, whatever, they should still bath on a Jummah day, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala's mercy is vast. We will still get the reward of having the Jummah bath, even though we'll say it is for the Salah. But inshallah, if they practice with this, then inshallah that is for the day, they will get that reward. Right. ثم هذا الغسل الصلاة in the Abi Yusuf. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, he said the salat is for the ghusl is for the salat. So according to him, if you're not reading Jummah namaz, it is not mustahab or sunnat ala ikhtilaf al-aqwal, according to different opinions to bath, right? What was sahih, and yeah, Sahih in the fatwa is on this. Why? لزيادة فضيلتها على الوقت. Because the actual salat is more virtuous than the day. So the bath must be for the day. Sorry, the salat is more virtuous than the day. So the salat must be for the, sorry, yeah, salat is more virtuous than the day. So the bath must be for the salat, not for the day, right? واختصاص الطهارة بها. And he says, what do you actually do taharat for? Is there any other parallel or another example in Sharia where you bath for a day? No, you don't bath for a day. You bath for a salah. Normally, like you bath for an ibadat. You cleanse yourself for an ibadat. You cleanse yourself for ihram. You cleanse yourself for hajj. You cleanse yourself for tilawat of Quran. You cleanse yourself for salat. So, so taharat is must be for the ibadat, like how it normally is. So here too, it will be for the ibadat. It will be for the actual what? Reading of the salah. That is reasoning. I said it. واختصاص التربية وفيه خلاف الحسن, right? وفيه خلاف الحسن, and in it is the اختلاف of Imam Hassan. Now Imam Hassan, Hassan ibn Ziyad. Also you can say maybe the fifth in charge in the Hanafi. He say no, it is for the day. So as I said, inshallah, if anybody, even though they're not reading Jummah, but they still bad for the day, then hopefully they will get the reward, right? Then والإيدين بمنزل الجمعة. Eid is also exactly the same like Jummah. It means the same ikhtilaf will take place. Those who say it is, those that say it is for the day, they will say that also for Eid, the bath is for the day. Those who say that it is for the Salat, they will say also that on Eid day, they say on Eid day also it is for the Salat. Those people are not reading Salah. It is not necessary for them to bath. Are you with me? Right. Well, right. لأن فيهما الاجتماع, and there's another reason why they say it's actually for the Salat. Because لأن فيهما الاجتماع, sorry, the ism, because لأن فيهما, because in the Salat people gather, right? There's a time everybody gather up in a small place. So that is a time you need to be clean, fresh, smart. فيستحب الاغتسال. That is why bathing is preferred دفعا للتعذيب, to repel any harm للتعذي بالرائحة that will come about because of any bad body odors. وأما في عرفة والإحرام, so as for regards to Arafah and Ihram, فسنية في المناسك, there the acts of worship, right, right, Insha'Allah ta'ala, this is for the actual worship. There's no specific ibadah there, but rather it's for the whole worship of while you're in ihram, or it is for the whole worship that you will do on the Arafah. It's not for any specific worship on that day. Are you with me? Okay, so there's another one small discussion that we need to do before we do the next lesson or before we move to the next chapter. There's a bit of explanation with regards to discussion. I think we'll stop there. We'll do that tomorrow, inshallah, with regards to the different fluids that come out from the front organ of a man and a woman, etc. We'll discuss it. So we'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.